first place battle here today at the Siegel Center. Before we get to Dayton VCU, let's talk about last time out for VCU. Unfortunately, they came out on the short end of a double overtime loss at Richmond. It was one of the wildest things I've ever seen, Rodney.
It sure was. You don't get to say this statement about one game in it after that atrocious start, and we should have never lost it after that phenomenal finish to regulation in that first overtime. It's a very difficult loss, but hey, we got to turn the page. We're still tied for first.
Rams were shorthanded. It went to double overtime, so a lot of VCU players played a lot of minutes. Any concern heading into today's game?
You know, these are young guys. They've been conditioning all summer long. They're getting ready to this. But whenever you play that many minutes this late in the season, it's always a concern for the next couple of games afterwards.
The Rams will be without Michael Gilmore, who is still home with his family following the unexpected death of his father. Justin Tillman didn't play against Richmond. Will he be available today, Rodney?
He will be available. He's dressed. Here he is right here on the screen. And, you know, I don't know if he'll get his full slate of minutes, but he will be there and available if Coach Smart needs him.
This is the third time Dayton and VCU have squared off as A-10 rivals. VCU won the first two meetings, but this is a Dayton team
made a habit out of winning. We're winning over 75% of their games. There's a lot to celebrate as a Ram fan.
The Rams are also making a habit of getting to the free throw line. Over the past 5 games, VCU had 19 made free throws per contest.
Yeah, they've been averaging 19 makes, but they've been doing a phenomenal job at getting there and then being productive once they get there. The Rams have been very aggressive on the offensive end. They've been going to the basket, and that's been resulting in free throw attempts.
The workhorse on this team is obviously the freight train, Travion Graham. In the last 2 outings, he's had a double-double, 24.5 points per game and 10 rebounds in his last 2 games.
Yeah, big-time players step up in big-time games, and Travion surely did that in the second half and in the first overtime the other night. This kid is one of the best college basketball players in America right now. That step-back three-pointer that he hit at the end of regulation, one of the best college basketball shots.
Big here today. Both Dayton and VCU rely on that three-pointer. In fact, Dayton and VCU are ranked 1 and 2 respectively in 3-point attempts. Rodney, you're going to see a lot of shots from beyond the arc today.
Yeah, long rebounds too. Keep an eye on that. But, you know, in addition to Dayton being in the top 2 in 3-point attempts, they lead the league in 3-point percentage at 38.4%. VCU has been holding opponents to 30% from long range. I know they had a very difficult time early in the first half against University of Richmond, but season long, they've been very effective in guarding behind the arc.
Guarding the 3 is key. And Rodney, Havoc has to show its head today against these Dayton Flyers. Here's an interesting note. In 6 of their total 7 losses, VCU has failed to force more than 13 turnovers. That's the benchmark.
Yeah, and here's an interesting stat for you. Dayton averages about 12 turnovers a game, and ironically enough, that Dayton wins, they have 11.3 turnovers. In their losses, 13.7. So if the Rams can reach their goal of 20 a game, they should be in business today.
Yeah, even if they just get to 14-15, it's going to increase their odds of winning here today because this is a Dayton team that just doesn't turn the ball over. Of course, we know VCU's done a great job of taking care of the basketball.
And this is not a deep team. So in combination of of the turnovers
No
that
doubt.
Havoc could create, them only going 7 deep, which is the shortest rotation in the A10, could take effect later in the game.
Tempo is definitely going to be key here today. We're just getting warmed up at this sold-out, gold-out for homecoming here at the Siegel Center. When we come back, we're going to talk to assistant coach Mike Morrell, who was in charge of the scouting report for tonight's opponent, Dayton, and we're going to hear from our buddy Chris Kowalczyk as he goes one-on-one with VCU great Darius Theus. It's all ahead on the VCU Courtside Countdown presented by the Center for Sport Leadership at VCU.
While Campbell was discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
VCU stand up. You don't want to go to war with the Rams. Join a group bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. VCU alumni is key to victory. Gold has more benefits than Richmond has history. $25 is all it takes. Represent the Rams across the states. Discounts, pride, the benefits are stacked. Rolling with the Peppers, yeah, that's where it's at. Membership, that's the move. Build a Ram Nation, it's up to you.
VCU basketball on Ram TV is presented by the Virginia Credit Union, the exclusive financial institution of Ram TV. Bruce's Super Auto Body, American Family Fitness, CarMax, the VCU Center for Sport Leadership, by Nationwide Insurance and your local Nationwide agent, and by Joe's Inn. Visit Joe's Inn of Bon Air for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week on Buford Road in Bon Air.
Welcome back to the VCU Courtside Countdown presented by the Center for Sport Leadership at VCU. VCU assistant coach Mike Morrell was in charge of the scouting report for today's opponent, Dayton. Our Rodney Ashby caught up with him just a short time ago.
Coach, VCU hosts Dayton today, which is one of 4 teams tied for first place, including VCU. Talk to us a little bit what we're going to see out of Coach Archie's team.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, very talented. Obviously, they've had their bumps in the road this year as far as, their depth. But, they got really, really good players. They attack you on offense. Just very well coached, very, very sound. They start with 21 Pierre and 24 Seibert, and obviously those guys made a great run at the end of the year last year. But just a really well-coached team, a really good team who's obviously won a ton of games.
You talked a little bit about their depth. They don't have a player on their roster over 6'6". They're playing their version of small ball. Is there a difference in how we prepare for a team like that, or is it just business as usual for the Rams?
No, I think it's business as usual. Obviously, the scouting report changes a little bit on them, but again, they do a great job of attacking you. They really spread the floor. They get good spacing, and when you got 5 good players on the floor, depth is what it is. I mean, every time there's a guy on the floor, he's a really good player, so we got to do our job.
You talked a little bit about Seibert, who's there, seems to be the glue to their team. He's a senior forward. Talk a little bit about what type of player he is and what we need to do to slow him down a bit.
Yeah, he's shooting it, really well over the course of the last 5 or so games, and is just a good player. He's a guy who played really well for them last year. has the ability to bounce it, has the ability to shoot it, so he's a tough guard, you know, and we got to do our job on him. Has the capability of really going off and getting a lot of buckets. I mean, obviously he's averaging almost 17 a game, so he's just a really good player, and when you face really good players, you know, somebody's got to step up and take him, you know, and guard him.
Before we wrap up, non-Dayton related, Briante Weber had his surgery yesterday. Can you kind of give us an update on his spirits and how things went?
You guys know Briante about as well as anybody. You can imagine how his spirits are. I mean, obviously he'd love to be playing, but he's you know, he's going to attack the rehab probably as hard as anybody that we've ever seen, and I guarantee he'll be back sooner than most people think.
Thanks to Coach Morrell and Rodney Ashby for the insight on tonight's showdown between Dayton and VCU. You know, our Chris Kowalczyk has many talents. Going head-to-head with a VCU grade, I'm not so sure, Chris. This will be like 9 minutes.
Down here at the Siegel Center with Darius Theus, we're going to play some horse. No. It's good. Oh. It's money ball.
Here, we have 4 good seasons.
It's too important of a shot. Oh my God. It's too
I think he's
important.
gonna miss. I can't waste my makes.
That's
Oh, you
money.
go-
Oh! Oh! That's why I need the most. Uh-oh, I got an H on the board.
That's a
H coming, right here.
That's a given.
Relax.
I have an H coming, people, right here.
Matt Smith called me this week. He's like, hey man, because like the first year, like you kind of piggybacked. Yeah. It was not
Good.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it. Woo! Only me and LeBron can make it. I told you.
I got to tell you about the next guy.
Oh, that's an O, by the way.
That's right.
Oh!
All right. Starts now.
Uh-uh. It's too important of a shot. Oh!
Oh, I'm gonna go back to it.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's harder than it looks, to trust me. Underhand.
Okay.
I told you it's harder than it looks. Ooh, I told you.
215. Perfect. Great. We're gonna be right on point.
Oh, wow.
Go in.
God.
I don't know that I've ever made that shot before.
You're like all over the place. These stories are very,
No,
very
too
hard to
soft.
shoot, because
No.
Here I come.
You can edit what's called edit yourself to a corner. You have to get different angles.
Uh-oh.
you
His
know.
foot was on the line, ref.
Uh-oh.
Get out of the way. That's my sweet spot. That's my sweet spot. He don't know that. That's good.
Oh, man. You didn't call bank, though. Oh, you're closer than I thought I would. I don't even use my left hand to eat.
Game, he called it.
Relax.
They called game.
Nope.
Oh.
Got it.
What knee was on the ground?
One knee.
Left knee?
Right knee. What knee do you balance good on?
Not my right. I was nervous. You made me feel like I was proposing. Oh, let's take a step back one more time. Down. Daniel's lane.
Oh,
Down Daniel's lane. That's what we should call the three-point line at Siegel Center. Daniel's lane.
we just,
That's where they need to edit.
would be like naming a street after him. You just name this area out here.
Everything
After
back
Troy.
here. Daniel's lane. You know, Melvin Johnson can get it too.
Ooh, yeah.
This might be the game changer right here, people. Oh! On line. I'm telling you. On line. Woo! Just getting hot.
There, he's still making shots. Well, we played. I didn't win or even get that close to winning. I think I went 3 games. I got maybe a total of 4 letters on you. I don't know. That's actually a little better than I thought I would do.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But Darius, thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for making me look bad. and we'll see you at the Siegel Center the rest of the year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great job, Chris. No shame in losing to the great Darius Theus. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to hear from head coach Shaka Smart and more on today's game between VCU and Dayton from the Ram Radio crew. It's all ahead on the VCU Courtside Countdown, presented by the Center for Sport Leadership at VCU.
More shopping.
More gear. More fishing trips.
With current auto loan rates as low as 1.49% APR at Virginia Credit Union, you could save more and do more.
More cruising.
More fresh air.
What would you do with more? Virginia Credit Union.
VCU Rams basketball is brought to you by McGeorge Toyota, home to one of Central Virginia's largest selections of beautiful new Toyotas. And now when you buy or lease any new Toyota, you'll receive 2 years of Toyota Care, plus 2 more years of McGeorge Care. That's 4 full years or 45,000 miles of no-cost maintenance. Hurry in now to McGeorge Toyota, where we earn your trust every day. And go Rams!
What you doing?
Defusing a bomb.
Looks stressful. You know, exercise can really help with that. It releases endorphins and lowers your blood pressure. And yoga classes can help you find your center, your chi. All that would make your hands a lot steadier, my friend.
Why are you here?
Just wanted you to know. Pass it on!
Teamwork is key on the basketball court. It's also important when I want to look my best. That's why I rely on this team, the Puritan Cleaners team.
Puritan Cleaners has been the market leader for well over 20 years, and their quality and service are absolutely the best in town.
If you want to look your best, do what I do. Trust my team from Puritan Cleaners. They'll keep you looking clean, crisp, and smart.
Welcome back to the VCU Courtside Countdown, presented by the Center for Sport Leadership at VCU. You know, Coach Smart puts a lot of thought into coaching, not just at the start of the season, but throughout the season. In today's edition of Words to Lead By, he talks about a book that's given him a lot of inspiration.
I think it's important, first and foremost, to have an awareness of who you are and what your type is. I think we all have a type, and Deion Sanders said you're unlimited within your limits. So our type defines what our limits are, and most people, I would say 99.5% of people, their type is not going to change. In fact, it's impossible for most people's type to change. So again, within your type, how can you grow? How can you expand? How can you develop? I think focusing on strengths is really good because, you know, if you do the things well that you have as strengths, most people can be really successful. But you also can't be blind to your weaknesses. And I think part of having a level of humility is understanding that we all do have weaknesses. We all do have areas for growth.
All right, welcome back. And we want to remind everyone to vote for Coach Smart in the ESPN Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge. He's in the Sweet 16. Voting continues until midnight tomorrow night, so you have a little over 24 hours. Go to voteshaka.com. He's playing for the Friends Association for Children, one of the oldest charities here, social services organizations in the city of Richmond. It could mean $100,000 for Friends Association. You can vote once today and votes tomorrow. We need your help. Coach is trying to get into the Final Four to win that money for Friends Association. Please go to voteshaka.com. Today's game sponsor and the host of this Gold Out at the Siegel Center is EJ Wade Construction, and we're great to have our friend Jeff Wade from EJ Wade Construction. How are you, Jeff?
Greg, how you doing? We're doing good.
No, listen, thanks so much for the partnership between Wade Construction and VCU. First, talk a little bit about Wade. This is just a good old-fashioned family-owned and operated company.
Yep, we've been in business for about 23 years. It's a family-owned. We have all our kids, our 5 kids in the business. They're great assets. They do things that I know I couldn't do by myself, so it's been wonderful. The business has been great. We're a construction company. We do a lot of site work, road work, general construction work. We work for a few utilities around the area, and 4 of our 5 kids graduated VCU. And we got 1 Hokie.
So if anybody was wondering how the partnership started, y'all have been a VCU family for a long time. Yeah. But the partnership with athletics just made sense for your values, right?
Absolutely. Well, when we started out getting into VCU, of course, our boys, they're engineer majors out of VCU. They were going like, Dad, we need to do something. Let's do something. So I said, well, throw it at me. What do you want to do? And they were going like, let's go to VCU and do some supporting. And so from that, we, in our company, we created a foundation to give back to Richmond and these awesome people behind us, Brian and his crew. We do concerts, and one of the things that they do for us, with the help of VCU, they come out and open up our first concert of the year. So we get these guys out. Know Ryan personally. They're great. It just keeps, he kicks the things off and gets going.
Man, that's great. You're very dedicated, obviously, to the community. There's not a lot of construction companies and general contractors that have foundations. If folks are interested in your services, how can they reach out to you and the company?
They can EJWadeFoundation.org, .net, or EJWadeConstruction.net or EJWadeFoundation.org. Either or can get to us. So,
you feel good about the Rams' chances today, Jeff?
Man, we got to beat these boys.
Jeff, thanks for all your support of VCU Athletics.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Sit tight. We're going to throw it over to the Ram radio crew. Robbie Robinson. Okay, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back with Rodney's final thoughts on today's showdown between VCU and Dayton. It's all ahead on the VCU Courtside Countdown presented by the Center for Sport Leadership at VCU.
I'm looking forward to reconnecting with my old buddies and just hanging out like we used to. I hope they still remember me.
There is life after divorce, and Bucci and Dix can help you get there. They're experienced trial attorneys who understand how difficult these times can be. When it comes to issues like child custody, support, and asset division, you need aggressive representation. If you're contemplating divorce, call Bucci and Dix before your spouse does.
Looking for a great place to eat and play in the Fan? Come hungry, come thirsty, come often to Curbside Cafe. Wing Night Mondays, Taco Tuesdays, Half Price Burger Wednesdays, a value menu from 5 to 9 p.m. and happy hour specials all week long. Brunch every Saturday and Sunday until 2 p.m. With 4 HD TVs and the NFL ticket, you'll never miss your favorite team. So if you want great food, great specials, and a great time, Curbside Cafe is the place to be.
Come hungry, come thirsty, come often.
The numbers, 0 for 72. Numbers that mean big savings during the President's Day sales event at your local Ford dealer. Numbers that can help you go further, a lot further, with great gas mileage, hands-free foot-activated liftgate, and sync voice-activated technology. Now get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus up to $1,500 cash back. That's up to $6,700 in total finance savings on Ford cars, SUVs, and crossovers. See your local Ford dealer by March 2nd.
I don't drink because I want to be a music producer.
Because I want a football scholarship.
Because I will not give in to peer pressure.
Because I care about my future.
Because it's against my religion.
I don't drink because I'm a good role model for my younger brothers and sisters.
Drinking puts your future in someone else's hands. Is yours up for grabs?
Underage drinking? Not for me. To find out more, visit WTVR.com/notforme. Brought to you by Loveland Distributing and CBS 6.
Today, Hanover firefighter David Johnston sings our national anthem, The Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back to the VCU Courtside Countdown presented by the Center for Sport Leadership at VCU. Moments away from tip between Dayton and VCU. Rodney, your final thoughts.
You know, first thing is I think we've got to win the three-point game. We talked about these are the top two teams in three-point attempts, and Dayton leads the league in three-point percentage. VCU has to win that today. They have to shoot better than they did against the Richmond game, and they have to defend to their norm of that 30% mark in order for us to win. The second thing is foul trouble. VCU has been very successful at getting to the line of recent. Dayton only goes about 7 players deep. If we can get them in foul trouble and tire them out and make them go deeper than what their abilities can, I think that fares well for the Rams. And then last, turnovers. VCU needs to find a way to take possessions away from this very good shooting Dayton team. If they can do that and create a few more easy buckets through those turnovers, VCU is going to fare well.
There's no question. You know, this is a Dayton team that's won 4 of their last 5, although they had a head-scratcher last Saturday, losing to the worst team record-wise in the league in Duquesne. So, again, a lot riding on this game with both Dayton and VCU tied for first, along with Davidson and Rhode Island in the Atlantic 10.
Yeah, I mean, those are some big-time games, and then we take care of business today. Dayton and Rhode Island, one of them will have another loss because they're playing each other. They play each other, and then VCU goes and finishes up with George Mason. Again, VCU's destiny for seeding in the A-10 tournament is completely in their hands.
No question about it, because 2 weeks from today, hopefully VCU will be playing in the semifinals of the Atlantic 10 tournament. But again, a couple of regular season games still to go as you see Coach Smart and the team getting ready for today's showdown. No Michael Gilmore today, but Justin Tillman is dressed and available. For Rodney Ashby and the entire crew, I'm Greg Burton. Thanks so much for joining us. You've been watching the VCU Courtside Countdown presented by the Center for Sport Leadership at VCU.
What do the VCU Rams and West Broad Hyundai have in common? The answer? We both strive to be the best at what we do. That's why West Broad Hyundai was awarded the Hyundai President's Award. We believe that giving the customer a great shopping experience along with a great price is key to being a winner. That's why West Broad Hyundai is the only dealer in Central Virginia to win this most coveted award. So the question to all you Rams fans is, why would you buy a Hyundai from anyone but West Broad Hyundai? So for the best price and the best shopping experience anywhere, get with a winner. West Broad Hyundai says, go Rams, go.
This is Planet Earth. This is Barnes & Noble at VCU. Here's some VCU Ram gear. When it comes to VCU gear, there's no one here that has as much of it as here. From Nike to Under Armour to Champion, men's, women's, and kids, Barnes & Noble at VCU has all the new Ram logo gear you're looking for to get you ready for game day. Hats, sweatshirts, polos, and more. You can look all around here, and you won't find a better selection than here. Barnes & Noble at VCU, right across from the Siegel Center on Broad. Come by and see these folks before the game.
Alexandria, number 12, Mo Ali Cox.
As we enter the last day of February, the VCU Rams basketball team finds themselves in territory that they often find themselves at the top of the conference, angling their way to the NCAA tournament. But they've got company, and one of the teams that are visiting them at the top of the conference are the Dayton Flyers, who are in town this afternoon to take on the Rams here at the Stuart C. Siegel Center, part of the HCL Link Athletic Village in the Verizon Wireless Arena. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a matinee at the Stew. Along with Mike Litos, I'm Robbie Robinson. Ram Radio on the air, and Mike, Dayton is in town. They are tied with the Rams for first place. Winner of this game will have not only a game in these standings, but also the tiebreak, officially putting them behind them. We're going to start right off with the Fleming's Prime Steakhouse What's at Stake, and probably the most obvious what's at stake that we've had in a long time. What's at stake for the Rams as they take on the Flyers today?
Quick quiz, Robbie. All right, two teams are in first place, both with the same record. What would be at stake today?
First place.
Bullseye. And really, that's what it all comes about. And we talked about it before, Robbie, that we're fans, so we get to look at it more than one game at a time. And when you think about the next game on the schedule is at Davidson, who, by the way, is 11-4 in conference, which would make them tied for first place. This is a very important game for the Rams to get that scalp here at home and then go on the road and take that one as we head into March.
So VCU taking on